Hello and welcome to Enjoy the View Travel. Let's Go Cruise Celebrity Summit Edition. Good morning and welcome to Nassau, Bahamas. This is our first port day on this cruise. I woke up just in time as we were pulling into the port. Now, I know you're thinking, this is your vacation. Why are you getting up early? But do it. I promise that you will not regret it. There are great photo and video opportunities on this particular day. I did not set an alarm or anything to get up. I just happened to wake up. So I'm glad that I did, and I did not miss this opportunity. Here's a look at the port shops after we had already docked here in Nassau. You're going to find at most of the ports that there are shops right at the port. So if you just want to hop off and pick up a few souvenirs without having to go too far from the ship, you do have that opportunity. At this port, there was also an amphitheater. So if you look on the photo on the left side towards the upper right-hand corner, right behind the shops, there's a little amphitheater there. So sometimes they'll have live music for you to enjoy as well. If you have an excursion to get to, be sure to take note of what time it leaves, because you want to be up, you want to be ready, you want to have your breakfast and ready to go when it's time. We headed to the buffet this morning for a quick bite before it was time to head to our excursion. I didn't feel like the buffet was overly crowded. We were easily able to find a seat and be able to take our time and enjoy our breakfast before our day started. After breakfast, we went back to our room to grab our things before we headed to the gangway to get off at the pier, and just a little look at our door decorations. It's excursion time. So Celebrity gave us a specific place to meet on the ship for your excursion. So everybody that was going on that excursion met in that location. And there was actually a couple of excursions that met in our particular location. So from there, they call you to the gangway with your excursion. So I wanted to say that we were number 6, but I can't remember if that was correct. So anyway, they call your number and then you can go down to the gangway. And the gangway is located on deck 1. So from there, you proceed through a security line and basically check yourself off of the ship so they know that you have exited the ship. And then you head out to the pier. So once we were out on the pier, we stood in line for about 10 minutes while everyone signed a waiver form, basically showing that you were in line for your excursion and going to get on our water transportation. And then we continued to walk down the pier once everybody had signed the forms. They do counts to make sure they have everybody. They were very organized with it, but it did take, a few minutes to do, which is expected. So some of the excursions that you will take will have land transportation to whatever you are doing or going to. So if that happens, when you walk down the pier, you exit to the right with your group. Or if you have planned your own excursions, not through the ship, then that's where you would exit as well. However, we were headed to Pearl Island for the beach day, and so we went down and took a left, and we would be taking some water transportation. So as we continue down the pier, here is a look at the front of the Celebrity Summit. And as we continue to walk down the pier, you're able to see other ships that are docked as well. The Disney Wish was docked. She is a beauty. And there was also this private ship or sailboat that you can see. It has 3 large masts for sails on it. I didn't catch a name of this ship, so I can't tell you much about it, but it was definitely really cool to see. So you'll be able to see these different things as you walk down the pier. We had some great views on our boat ride to Pearl Island. They did give us a narrated tour on this ride, telling us about famous people who had homes there, pointing out their houses, and other parts of the island as well. Fun fact, did you know that the Bahamas are not technically part of the Caribbean? I didn't realize that until he was telling us on our ride over. So when we arrived at Pearl Island, the first thing I saw when we walked down the pier were starfish. And not just one, there were multiple. And they were huge. It was so exciting to see because I've never personally seen a starfish that big in the ocean. So it was pretty amazing. So keep your eye out for things like that. We took a little time to walk around Pearl Island to decide where we wanted to hang for the day. We were looking for some shade, for some sun, an area that wasn't too far from the beach, an area that wasn't too far from where lunch would be and the restrooms were. So, kind of like that perfect spot. And I kind of felt like we found it. It wasn't overly crowded in this area. Everybody that was around us was pretty tame and pretty quiet, not any really loud groups. So all in all, it was a fabulous day. So really anywhere that you were had great views of the ocean. A little disclaimer, some of the beach areas, like the one that we picked, do have some rocky areas. So it's kind of like a Jenga puzzle. You have to kind of get your chair and the rocks to cooperate. Sometimes you may have to move your chair around a little bit. Also, note, really take a look at your chairs before you pick your spot, because some of the chairs were broken, and you may not notice that until you went to maybe adjust your chair. The chairs that we had were fine. A couple of the chairs down from us, I heard some people talking about that they were broken. So make sure you pay attention to that before you make your final decision. So just 2 of us headed to the beach to venture into the water, and it was refreshing. Who am I kidding? It was still rather cold. So remember, this is the first part of March, so to be expected. They did have a roped off beach area that you can do some minimal snorkeling in. And they do have snorkel options on the other side where our chairs were. It was for an additional fee. It was like a part of the excursion package that you purchased. Could have a snorkel package, and that was on that side. So I'm sure there are better snorkeling opportunities over there. There were also some private cabanas that you could rent for the day. That would guarantee you had some shade and some comfort for the day. We did not see any turtles, but there were little fish swimming around as we were in the water. So you were given lunch cards for each guest before we boated the boat to the island. So don't lose your lunch ticket. So it was lunchtime and we headed over to the building to get lunch. It was set up buffet style. You told them what you wanted and they put the food on your plate. We were able to get chicken, fish, veggies, and rice. Can't remember if they had anything else. But I know that's what I have gotten. So there was a cash bar for drinks during lunch and for the whole stay on the island. There was also co-ed restrooms that was behind the building where lunch was. this lighthouse that you see in the picture. It was pretty cool. It was also rather busy while we were there. I didn't go up and get pics. I really wish I had now, but it was quite busy. There's 2 different ways to go in, and both directions. It was pretty busy the whole time we were there. So I wish I had done that, but overall the lunch was pretty good, and the rum punch was great. All good things must come to an end. It was time for us to say goodbye to Pearl Island and head back to the ship. We saw another pirate ship on our way back. Can you guys believe that? We've seen 2 now. Here is one of the homes that belongs to a celebrity. Now, I can't recall which celebrity that this home belongs to, but some of the celebrities that were mentioned were Chuck Norris and Elon Musk. I know that Elon Musk owned the towers that they were talking about down there, and there were other celebrities mentioned as well. I just can't think of them right now. As we got closer to the port, there were more yachts along the way, quite a few to be exact, and of course the famous Atlantis. It is about $25,000 a night to stay in the bridge suite, connecting the 2 sides of the hotel. And some of the notable celebrities that have stayed in the bridge suite are Michael Jackson, Oprah, Celine Dion, Michael Jordan, Bill Gates, and Donald Trump. So we made it back to the ship, and after a long day in the sun, we were ready to head in, grab a quick snack before heading to the cabin to clean up for dinner and our evening fun. So while we were grabbing our snack, I was able to get this pic of a couple more ships that came in while we were away from the port. You can see on the far right is Disney Wish. We saw that this morning. In the middle is Carnival Liberty, and to the left is Allure of the Seas, which is a Royal Caribbean ship. Busy day at port. So after a quick cleanup, I'm now ready for dinner. We haven't had the chance to have a room tour yet, so let's take a look at some of the photos I have for the room tour. Episode 4 will be a complete video room tour. So it'll be a shorter episode because we're going to devote it just to the room, but let's take a look at some of the pics now. So we are staying in a veranda category B2 room on deck 10. Our room is 1006. Here is a look at the whole room, with the exception of the chair and a half that's to my left, and the remainder of the desk that is to my right, and the door to the balcony, which is behind me. So I'm trying to give you just a visual of what the whole room looks like. And as you can see, the beds are set up into twin configuration. They can also be set up into the queen option if that's what you would prefer. All right, so here's that chair and a half that I was talking about. There's also a small side table over there that is movable. It can fit where the base of it fits under the bed if you want to do a little bit of work at the bed, or you can do some work there at the table, or at the chair, sorry. There is a nightstand between the beds, and then there's also a nightstand on the other side of the far bed. There was ample lighting at night, and plenty of plugs for all of our things. The desk area also has some additional plugs. The closet area has double doors, and plenty of hanging space for both long dresses, shirts, pants. If you need additional hangers, you can ask your room steward for that. There are drawers for some additional storage on things that you don't need to hang. And then there is also a mini fridge. Now, your mini fridge will come stocked on a celebrity ship. However, these items are not included. So if you use the items that are in there, you will be charged for those. If you don't want those items, then you simply let your room steward know and they'll remove them for you. You can still use that to put your things in there after it's the room steward has taken things out of the mini fridge. And even if you have the drink packages, the items that are set up in there in the what they consider a mini bar are not included. So make sure you have your room steward remove those for you. All right, and then the last thing is the bathroom. Now, it is small, but there is plenty of space for one person. The glass shower door is amazing. So glad that they're getting away from that dreaded shower curtain. There was plenty of storage area for us in the bathroom also. A couple of shelves below the sink area as well as shelves above the sink area. So for one person to be in the bathroom, it was plenty of space. We are all ready for dinner in these fancy chairs. All right, dinner selections tonight. My starter was a broccoli soup. It was very good. I went away from the French onion soup for tonight, and I had the broccoli soup. Don't regret it. It was still very good, but I did miss that French onion soup because it's so good. The entree is a pork tenderloin. There's a butternut squash puree that is on the plate, and then there's also some red cabbage. It was very good. I enjoyed this. Highly recommend it. And then for dessert, creme brulee. And we capped off the evening in the Sky Lounge for a few game shows, True or False, and I forget the name of the other show, but you had to sign up, and it was a singing game show where you had to basically finish the lyrics. I think there were 4 contestants up at a time for the show. Both games were fun, and we had a great time. Thanks for joining us here to Enjoy the View Travel on our latest travel adventures. Our contact information is listed below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave us a comment below. And until next time, enjoy the view.